Welcome, guys. This is Sean from Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hope everyone's having a great start to your day. And in today's video, we are going to talk about probably one of the more unique, kind of like little mini date ranges of U.S. coins. I would say that the 1965 to 1967 Washington quarters are probably some of the most widely available coins that you can find in your change today. But the real interesting, the very stimulating, exciting part is you're probably touching one of the more valuable modern clad coins that you could find today. All right, and we're going to get into why exactly that's the case. We're going to look at it from not only collecting the high graded specimen standpoint, but we're also going to take a look at all of the really cool varieties and U.S. mint errors that you can discover from this date range of quarter. Now, the first thing I want to point out, the reason why that this is probably one of the more unique date ranges of Washington quarter is that between 65, 66, and 67, when it comes to business strike coins, and keep in mind, business strike are coins produced and made directly for circulation, all right? They're not special strikes. They're not made for the collector's market, although you could collect them, and there was a lot of collector value in them. These were made and produced to be used and abused. They were only minted in Philadelphia, all right? As far as business strikes, there was no Denver minted coin that you're going to see an identifiable Denver mint mark. There are no San Francisco mint marks on these coins, and those are for like the proof and specialty type coins. So it's a very unique, interesting date range. All right. So what I figure I do, like I always do on these type of videos, is we're going to go ahead and drill down each individual date. 65, 66, and 1967. We're going to talk a little bit about each coin. And then once all that's said and done, we're going to go ahead and deep dive into some really cool varieties and errors that you're going to have to pay close attention to, because these are not apparent at first glance. All right. The tools of the trade are going to be important when it comes to searching through these coins. So, as always, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. If this is your first time here, welcome. Let's go ahead and find some treasure for you, starting with 1965. Now, 1965 is quite a available coin in itself. To give you an idea of how many of these were produced by the Philadelphia Mint, 1,819,717,540 pieces were produced. To this day, I can honestly say, with the amount of coin roll hunting I do, and that's simply going through rolls from the bank, I have come across these 1965 quarters from low ball, just terrible graded coins, to high mint state examples. I have actually found mint state 65s in this particular date, so they are out there. And generally that would stem from someone depositing these coins, because they're not silver or anything like that. So it's like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and deposit it, get my cash for it. So the 65 Washington quarter is the first year right out of the gate after the 90% silver standard went and gone away. All right, as you guys know, the U.S. Mint put the kibosh on it based off of cost. It just cost way too much to produce these coins in 90% silver. So they went with a copper nickel clad from here on out. All right, so if you're really into grading, all right, and that's going to be submitting these coins to a company like PCGS or NGC. And what they do is they authenticate and certify the coin and assign it a numerical grade value. So the highest grade that you can achieve on coins is mint state 70. All right, that's perfect. It's top notch. It's the highest rung on the ladder, I guess you would say. So, in terms of the 65 Washington quarter, the top grade assigned by PCGS, and that's the company that we're going to focus on for the graded aspect of these three dates. The top grade assigned for 65 is mint state 67 plus. It's the coin that you see on screen here. Now, PCGS has only assigned 8 total examples at this particular grade level. So it's pretty rare, considering that there was nearly 2 billion pieces produced with only 8 examples at this high level. It's a real nice, I guess, chase piece that you could find. If you're into grading, keep in mind that you are going to be spending money for the submission costs. You're going to be spending money for shipping. All right. You're also going to be spending money for the return shipping and possibly some sort of insurance. Because if you're able to peg down a high graded mid-state 67 plus of a 1965 Washington quarter, we're going to be talking a lot of money here. Now, the highest sale ever achieved for this particular coin occurred January of 2017 on Heritage Auctions. They actually sold this particular coin that you see on screen, this mid-state 67 plus, in the sum of $2,585. That is an insane amount of money for a coin that generally was being used and abused, like I said, because they're not silver. There was no reason to keep these coins. But I'm happy to say that some of the highest examples that are coveted by Washington quarter collectors, people pay all the money in the world for them. All right, so the next date I wanted to talk about is 1966. If you have this coin, keep in mind it is a Philadelphia minted coin. There is no identifiable mint mark, which it would be right here behind his head. Again, this is a coin where a lot was produced. Not nearly as many as 65, but there's still quite a few of them out there today. 821,101,500 pieces were produced by Philly at the time of mintage. Now, in terms of graded, all right, if you wanted to grade this coin, the highest assigned grade by PCGS is Mint State 68. All right, now we're getting a little bit tougher. These coins are getting a lot better in quality. Only 3 pieces were ever assigned the top grade of Mint State 68. So again, another great chase piece, a very expensive coin that is highly coveted and sought after by Washington coin registry set collectors. Now, in terms of a high sale, back in January 27th of just last year, 2019, Legend Auctions sold this Mint State 68 example for $11,750. Let that sink in. What coin would you know in this modern era would sell for 5 figures so easily? Well, it's the 1966 Washington quarter. It just has to grade out at Mint State 68. That's 2 points away from perfect. So the coin has to be in really nice shape. And finally, we have the 1967 Washington quarter, another Philadelphia minted coin. Again, the absence of any mint mark indicates that this is a Philadelphia struck coin. Now, again, this has been produced in such high numbers, 1,524,031,848 total pieces were produced of the 1967 Washington quarter, which makes it the second highest mintage out of the 3. Now, in terms of grading, all right, this one is a true rarity. For 1967, only 1 example graded at the top grade number of Mint State 68. There are no finer examples. There is no second example. Okay, this one right here is the toughest out of the 3 in terms of its population of this particular high grade. Now, for a high dollar value, Heritage Auctions sold this coin January 4th of 2017, and it's the Mint State 68 example you see here, for $8,813. Crazy amounts of money for all 3 coins. Keeping in mind, for 1965, there are no mid-state 68s. 67 plus is the highest grade value for that particular coin. So it's only going to be a matter of when, not if, a 65 in a Mint State 68 will show up. Keep in mind, the coin has to be virtually flawless to attain that kind of grade level. So those are the 3 coins at a glance by mintage numbers, and grade. All right, if you wanted to get into collecting these coins or maybe cherry picking brilliant uncirculated rolls of one of these three dates, you could certainly do that. Okay, it's not a cheap proposition. You're going to be spending money on grading fees and shipping. Keep that in mind as you pursue these three dates. What I also wanted to talk about are the major die varieties that you need to keep an eye out for these three particular dates. Now, there's two in mind that has some pretty significant die varieties. Now, die varieties are traditionally referred to as like double dies, repunched mint marks. Maybe it's some sort of, proof reverse transitional type of variety. Those are all included in such. So for 1965, all right, there are three recognizable double dies, all recognized in Whitman's Cherry Picker's Guide. All right, so there's two doubled die offers, one of which you see here, and one double die reverse, which is the least known, but it is also the newest listing, the more modern listing out of the three. Now, the one I wanted to draw your attention to is going to be double die offers number 1. This is also referred to in the Cherry Picker's Guide as FS 101. Now, at first glance, you really wouldn't know what to look at on this 1965 Washington quarter, okay? This particular FS 101 double die is the most sought after of the three because of how dramatic and radical the doubling is. Take a look at In God We Trust. You can see right here you have a lot of doubling, very copious amounts of spread on each of the letters. This is one that generally, is going to be your major pickup point for this particular coin. Now, they are few and far between, but even in lower grades, you can identify this particular double die. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mint state example. It could be XF or AU, one that has seen quite a bit of circulation. And even those coins are worth many hundreds of dollars in those particular mint states, or grade states, rather. So you're going to pay a close attention to In God We Trust. You want to make sure that you're outfitted with a nice, suitable magnifier, okay? Something around 8 to 10 times power is more than suitable for variety hunting. If you have to go any more stronger than that, it's probably something minor, and it wouldn't be even worth talking about at that point. But this is a double die that sells for many hundreds, but many thousands of dollars in higher mint states. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for double die offers number 1 for the 1965 Washington quarter. All right, so the next one I wanted to draw your attention to is the one lone double die that exists on 1966 Washington quarters. Okay, in this particular instance, this is an example of a PCGS XF45 that's sold on Heritage Auctions a few years ago, actually in 2012. Keep in mind, take a look at the grade, XF45, look at the coin. This came straight out of circulation. This is the doubled die reverse FS801 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Now, this is what's going to look like. Again, a magnifier is going to be paramount when you're searching through these coins. Take a look at the doubling that you see on United States of America. It's most notable on the top serifs of the S, T, the right side of the A, all on each right side of each respective letter in United States of America. This is a clockwise rotation of a doubled die reverse. All right, so this is going to be very apparent, but again, you're going to need some good lighting, 8 to 10 times power magnifier to make it all work. Now, let me give you an idea of how much this coin is worth. This example, this one that came straight out of circulation, graded XF45 by PCGS, sold for $920. A coin straight out of circulation that you can make many hundreds of dollars from is going to be one that excites you. All right, keep an eye out for this coin. This is an important double die, one of the strongest of the modern clad series, and I just can't state the importance of this coin when it comes to roll hunting and pocket chain searching. They are out there. Keep an eye out for it. And then finally, we're going to talk about some US Mint errors. Now, generally, you'll come across errors that are like, there's just no way that could be found in pocket change or maybe in a bankroll. Maybe it's just way too outlandish. But I'm happy to say what I've done is assembled, 5 coins on the list that are all reasonable. Okay, when I mean reasonable, these are coins that traditionally are overlooked when it comes to the hunt. All right, so all the coins on here, very valuable and very reasonable to find on these 1965 to 67 Washington quarters. Now, the first one I want to start out here is going to be this 1967 example. Now, keep in mind, it has a pretty prominent reverse strike through. All right, so something had landed on the coin before the strike and then subsequently fallen out after it was all said and done. So you have that big triangular void on the reverse of this. Now you're probably saying, oh, come on. Now, am I really going to find that coin? Well, this is a pretty unique example because only one coin with this strike through exists. But what if you come across another coin that exhibits large amounts of strike through grease, or maybe it was struck through a staple or a fiber or a piece of tape or a piece of wood? There are a lot of different fragment strike throughs that are worth lots of money. All right, this particular example, no exception. It's graded NGC Mint State 64, as you see here, struck through reverse. And this one sold on Heritage Auctions January 10th of 2008 for $488.75. Keep an eye out on all strike throughs, not just this particular one. They're all worth money. Might as well take advantage of it. All right, so the next one we have here is a 1967 quarter. Okay, now this one is very reasonable to find. I've actually found a few of these over the years, and this particular coin was struck on a nickel planchet, a nickel blank made and intended for a Jefferson nickel. So it's really easy to overlook. All right, it looks like a regular quarter, however, it is slightly smaller, oh so very smaller than a traditional quarter-sized blank. All right, so there's not going to be a whole lot that you're going to be able to differentiate other than the fact that a few of the devices are going to be cut off because it is a smaller planchet. Now, this is an NGC Mint State 61 example, and this one sold on Heritage November 27th of 2019 for $324. All right, a coin like this would be a good idea to get graded. If not PCGS or NGC and you wanted to go budget, try out Annex. They will grade this type of error and keep it very reasonable price-wise, so that way you can make a lot more money once you find and discover this coin. All right, so we have a 1966. Now, this is a coin I'm going to say you don't need to grade at all, okay? Cut die break errors, like you see on the reverse right here, where a piece of the die had fallen off after a lot of strikes, are very desirable in the error coin marketplace. So this one right here is an NGC Mint State 62 example. You can see the die break right there. It's right good sized. And this example sold on Heritage Auctions way back in 2010 for only 38 bucks. But you would have made 38 bucks anyways selling this not graded. All right. So again, there are certain coins that you could grade and be okay with, and there are certain coins where you don't have to grade at all and just make all the money off of them. This is that example right here. All right, we got a few left. How about a 1965 Washington quarter? Now, this one right here appears to have a little bit of a brockage on there, or an out-of-collar strike. This example, however, was struck through 2 staples. Yes, you heard that right. There's debris and various fragments that could fall in the striking chamber once a planchet is in there. You just never know what's going to fall in there. Staples, pieces of wood, a screw, a nail, you name it. Filed shavings, or a dropped reeded edge or something like that. There are various different types of strike throughs, and to a lot of people it looks like a scratched coin. Well, on this particular example, I'm going to say that it is damaged. Okay, there is a little bit of scratching on this coin, but still a very important piece that shows clear strike through of a staple on the front. and then also on the reverse. But you also have a little bit of a retained in there. You guys still have a little bit of the staple still embedded in the quarter. How cool is that? Now this is an annex uncirculated details coin. It's damaged with these scratches right here on the reverse. It's an AU50 example, so it came straight out of circulation. It's circulated a little bit. Alright, now this is what I'm talking about when it comes to coins that you can find out there in the wild. So this one sold back in 2013 on Heritage Auctions for $1,410. Yeah, damaged coin with a couple staple strike-throughs on it. Sold for over $1,000 really easily. And then finally, for your consideration, we're going to talk about probably the most prominent 1965 error coin that could be found out there. And I'm going to tell you exactly the best chance where you can find these. 1965 Washington quarter that was struck on the older 90% silver planchets, the ones that were intended for 64 and earlier. So they're, this is a transitional point. Okay, this is what I call a transitional error strike, where you have a previous older planchet that was a completely different composition that somehow was struck along with the newer stuff, the copper nickel clad planchets. So you have this coin right here, the 65, that was struck on inadvertently on a 90% silver planchet. Talk about really cool. And guess what? A number of these have not only been found in change. I mean, take a look at the coin in front of you. This coin has seen quite a bit of circulation before someone finally wised up and knew that they had something great. So this coin right here, PCGS XF45, and it's a 45. It spent some time going from hand to hand. It is crazy how this just went under the radar for many, many months. But this coin sold on Heritage Auctions way back in January of 2018. Yeah, that's not way back. That's pretty recent. But get this. How does $7,200 sound for this coin? Now, this particular coin, some of you are going to ask, well, where's the best place to find something like this? Well, there have been a few that have been discovered going through regular coin rolls. Okay, the most recent one, I believe, was earlier this year through the forum chat pages. I believe it was probably Coin Community, where someone had discovered a 65 silver in regular good old bankrolls. All right, so that's one opportunity. Another is, because this is a silver coin, bulk, junk, 90% silver, these could also pop up out there as well. You just have to pay attention to the date. But $7,200, and it's a coin that's not even mint state. It's not even brand new. It is a circulation piece. It's been in someone's pocket for God knows how long, and then someone made a grip of cash from this coin. So what do you guys think? 1965, 1966, and 1967 Washington quarters are probably some of the most neatest, if not more valuable coins of the modern era of clad coins. Lots and lots of stuff to discover. I want to thank everyone for joining in, but good luck with the hunt, especially, and keep in mind, high-grade examples are tough. A 67 or 68 is least likely to show up in pocket change. Your best bet is either going to be mint sets or going through original bank rolls of those coins. Another thing to keep in mind, keep a quality magnifier handy. 8-10 times power is more than adequate for variety hunting. Again, you don't want to get more powerful than that. And frequency is the key. The more you search, the more you will find. Not just these coins I showed you, but a ton of other varieties and errors exist out there for the taking. Why not it be you? So, I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching the video. Hope everyone's doing well. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for instant notification. Again, as always, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound and Coinaholics. We are discovering together. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll check back in with you here soon. Good luck with the hunt, and I'll see you next time.